What is up, everybody? You know what it is. It's X on the Beach time. So Tor'i shows up, greets everybody in the house. Angela finds out that it's not all heavenly with what's going on in her phone. And we got Nicole joining us via Skype. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
AfterBuzz TV, you know what it is. The one and only X on the Beach after show. You know how we do. It's your boy Lim Gonzalez here, and we got the crew gang in the building. Next to me is the incomparable, the amazing Miss Sensei Don't Play.
Hey, y'all. I'm in the building. Super excited to be here. Ready for another time to talk my shit.
Yeah. And of course, our messy correspondent, Messy Melody, is in the building.
What up? I am glad to be here.
Yeah. And of course, my A1 since day one, Mr. Nilo Lanera.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Let's talk about how everyone was so nice to each other at this episode.
Yes,
I
super
know.
nice.
Kumbaya, y'all.
Like,
but,
what?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm confused.
But ladies and gentlemen, we do have a guest
Yeah.
with us. It's guest time. It's guest time. It's guest time. She is with us in virtual world, but nonetheless, she is here with us, and we are super excited, and she looks amazing. Nicole is with us.
Hey. She comfortable. I want to be there too.
Right.
She looks like she's, modelist. So Nicole,
No, I'm not modeling.
I mean, I'm just saying, when you see this bag, I'm telling you, it looks amazing. So, Nicole, first of all, if the engineer can put you on full screen so we can get the full aspect, so, you know, of your greatness. What'd you say? Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
All right, we got it. So, we got to talk about, you know, your exit because it was really crazy. First of all, you were the love of life for Mr. Chad. And then, of course, some things went down. You swang on a producer. And then, of course, you...
No, there's an alleged rumor. That's not true.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
Allegedly.
let's clear it up then. What exactly happened?
So, like, in the midst of the whole fight, and, like, I said I wasn't going to hit this girl, and everyone was pulling me away, as you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're really mad and you're angry and people keep pulling you, pushing you, go here, go there, and you just, like, want to continue yelling and screaming and get whatever the hell you have off your chest, and they wouldn't let me. In the midst of me being pushed by the producer, I pushed back, but, like, at his throat.
Oh.
So it wasn't like
It wasn't like I went to go choke him. It was like more like a throat push.
Yeah. So it
'Cause he was
wasn't.
bigger than me. He was taller. So I was like, get the fuck out of my way. And it wasn't. I never swung. I never punched. Never kicked. Never spit. Never did nothing weird. Everyone like started making shit up. Like it was a throat push.
So it wasn't an intentional like.
And then it was at the
something.
top of the stairs. They're like, well, you know, you could have pushed him off the stairs. Like they just made all these like crazy scenarios in their head. I'm like, I was gonna push this man off the fucking stairs. I like him. He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
I was mad.
But you were probably just like kind of
On
claustrophobic with like everyone around you, and you were just trying to say
my
your
ex
piece.
picked me up and brought me up the stairs and like pushed, like everyone's bringing me outside, push me here, push me there. You'll see me, I'm like all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Nobody would let me like do anything.
It was a heated moment and a heated situation that led to
I wanted to just
things.
say what I had to say.
Right.
And nobody would let me talk.
How did you feel leaving the house knowing you weren't going to have a conversation with Chad? Because I thought it was interesting how they let Janelle, but then they didn't let you say goodbye to like...
They did though.
Oh, okay, they
didn't
did.
show that.
Oh, they didn't show it.
So like the whole edit's really fucked up. So like with me arguing with her and then it sees me cut back to me crying. I was already kicked out of the house at that point. So like I was already crying because I knew I was already kicked out. If that made sense.
Yes.
So I wasn't crying because of what like, oh, she made me upset and what she was saying about me bothered me. They were asking me questions and like telling me like, well, how do you feel? I'm like, well, I'm upset. Well, what happened in your past? And I talking about my past. And it looks like I was crying because of what she was saying about me, but I was more crying because of the situation. Like I had a good feeling I wasn't going to come back, but they weren't giving me an answer.
Right.
They were like, oh, we're just going to put you in a hotel for the night. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah. What do you think Maddie's intentions were for, like, you know, saying these things about you? I mean, you never hit below the belt when she came in. Like, what do you think her intentions were when she just started saying those crazy things about you?
Honestly, I think that she was intimidated as fuck by me. So she's like, I'm gonna do and say anything to make her seem and look less attractive to Chad. Like, oh, people in the outside world think like, oh my God, no, she's ugly, or oh, she's this, or she's that. She's just very insecure and very like, I don't know, middle America. Like, she's just very close-minded.
I get it. I mean, we see her a little bit in this episode. You know, her personality is very like,
She's a cunt, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, I could say it.
That's one way to say it.
Okay. There we
I
go.
mean, she doesn't
She is
hold
very
back,
cunty.
I guess, what she says.
All right.
Adjective.
I'm dying.
No, I mean, cunty's actually a good word. You know, I
Okay.
Am
mean,
I wrong though? Okay, anybody want to like say that I'm wrong about that?
no, and I mean, cunty's not even like the meanest thing ever. I mean,
No.
she's just, you know, she's spicy. She's kind of like, you know, says what she wants to say.
Well, you said I do agree with you when you said about her being intimidated, and
Yeah.
I will say that
Super intimidated.
I was, riding for you when you kind of confronted her, and you're like, "Yo, you are beautiful. You're just ugly on the inside."
Yeah.
And I felt like it was one of those Michelle Obama, they go low, we go high, and you were just basically like telling her like, "You're a beautiful woman. Like, why do you have to be so ugly on the inside?" And I think it seemed like she was overcompensating because of the intimidation, and basically, to expose that and try to, not necessarily get you out the house, but try to make herself look better for Chad for
Right.
her.
I mean,
Like, I think the thing is, though, too, I'm just gonna be very fucking honest. I've done TV for a long time. This is my 5th TV show. This is her first one. I'm not stupid. I know how to act and I know how to argue with people.
yeah.
So it's like I could have went crazy and just wild the fuck out, but then if you give TV producers that, they can edit you any fucking which way they want.
True.
So I was very careful about the things that I did and I said.
Yeah. Well, some of the fans in the chat room want to know, Jess, oh yes, wants to know, has a Maddie apologized to you one-on-one or privately at least?
So after the show finished wraps and like they bring back all the exes, like well, I mean, it's not even aired, any of that stuff. It's not aired at all, but they bring them back for like PR stuff and like to do pictures and stuff like that. Like you guys saw all that stuff. But she comes up to me while I'm doing my makeup and proceeds to say, "I'm so sorry for everything I ever said about you. I didn't mean it, this, that, whatever." And I literally look at her dead in her face and I'm like, I don't accept your apology. Simply because I want to see the way that you act after this shit airs. And maybe then I'll accept your apology. And bitch, I'm glad I fucking didn't accept it. So glad I didn't.
Because she's been really nasty after
Yeah.
the show's
Oh
been
yeah,
over.
she just calls me a clown on the internet. Like she's still like talking, like she's just chasing any type of clout just to like get her
Yeah.
wannabe music career off the ground, which is not going nowhere. It's
Okay.
stagnant, but whatever.
Ah, she's
Do anything for
doing
clout.
music. How did you feel in watching this particular episode and seeing Nerese ride for you so hard? And then
Nerese
ultimately,
is my motherfucking bitch. I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, that was it. I was just that was it. You answered it perfectly because basically, we saw not only did she ride for you, but she eliminated her, in
Yeah.
the sense because she wanted Chad and you to be able to explore your relationship.
Like the thing is, everybody in the house knew me and Chad were a thing since week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, not even week 1, like a couple days in. It was like 2 or 3 days in. Me and him were like attached at the hip, and it was definitely true love. Like it was there. Everyone saw it, and like the moment she came in the house, I was more so mad at Chad for the way that he acted, and I did take it out on him. But obviously, edits and stuff like that, they like to throw a little spice in there and say I'm jealous or this girl's talking about me, so I'm a little bit upset about her. Like, they have to give her some type of storyline, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And
So,
I mean, yeah.
they knew. Everybody knew me and him genuinely were like the couple. Like, we were attached at the fucking hip.
So, question. Here's a good one from the chat where they're asking if Nate ran back to you after he left the house. Because we saw that episode and Nate was talking all this stuff. Oh, he was trying to talk all this stuff, which really didn't work because Chad's comebacks are really, really quick. And he left the house kind of like on a weird tangent saying, I'm going to go talk to Nicole and tell him how you're acting, blah, blah, blah. Did he ever come up to you around that time and try to persuade you to think Chad was doing otherwise?
Nate has always told me, like, anything Nate's ever told me has fucking come true about everything.
Oh, wow.
Like, everything. And it's like, fuck, I didn't listen to this guy. And he's a good dude. Me and him are really fucking great friends. After the show, it drew me and him together. Like, we are, like, probably the best we could ever be. And like, I don't know, I'm glad and thankful that he was like the light. Like he literally showed me the fucking light.
That's dope.
That is dope.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to when this did first happen, when Maddie came in the building, because, you know, I remember watching that episode. I'm like, you know, I feel like the way you were reacting was kind of, you were holding it in and you didn't really want to like stir the pot a little bit more. My reasoning is I kind of want to know, like, why were you so quiet at first and you really were stubborn, not wanting to talk to Chad? Like, what were your reasons behind that?
Like when I packed up my bags and left?
Yes, like, and you weren't going to talk to him at all. And even Corey tried to convince you to talk to him.
Because he was disrespectful as fuck. So in a scene, you guys don't really see it, but they have like little cut splice, little scene of the pink party. You see us all cheersing in the air. This motherfucker had the audacity to have his hand and arm around his ex-girlfriend holding onto her non-existent hip.
I can't.
So when the moment he comes up to me after we're cheersing, doing whatever, he's like, oh, so you're like jealous, aren't you? And I'm like,
God.
bitch, if you ever. And I walked the fuck off.
Yeah.
So
at that point, I was already inside the house for like an hour. Then I packed up my stuff. Me and Corey talked for a minute. And I was like, fuck it. I'm out. Like, I'm not going to deal with this bullshit.
Right. And I mean, did you guys have a plan when the exes came in? Because it seems like the relationship kind of got rocky when the exes came in. Did you and Chad kind of have this pact, like, okay, like when your exes arrived? Because you guys were doing amazing before, you know, the exes came in. Did you guys talk about that often, or did you guys
Like a
kind
plan
of
of
ignore
attack?
it? Yeah.
We had a plan and everything. It was like, we're on X on the beach, bitch. We know where exes are coming.
Right.
So like we had a whole full-blown plan. Okay, introduce them to everybody, walk them around the house, get them settled. But he wanted to get her settled for 2-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bitch, what do you mean? She's already settled. She's out kikiing, talking to other people. So like, what are you doing? You want to go sit down and talk to other people before you even come and talk to me? And then the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, you must be jealous. Like, that's what like tipped me the fuck off. And I'm like, you're fucking just stupid.
See, it's really interesting because we see after you're gone, I mean, we know how he was acting with her, right? And he was kind of doing a little too much. And I could see why you would be upset at that. But once you were gone, he seemed to like not be about her and was like, oh no, you know, I really want to work somewhere out with Nicole. And we see in this episode that he's like, I'm really thinking about Nicole and I really, you know, like, so do you feel like he was genuine in that, or was he not?
Honestly, when now that I look back on like in hindsight, and I'm seeing the shit that he was saying behind my back in his interviews compared to what he was saying to me in the house, he's a complete fucking narcissist, crazy person. Like, I'm like, I was literally in shock. Like, oh, she's attractive, but you told me she's fucking ugly. Like, it makes no sense. Everything he said to me, he said opposite in his interview, and then like,
so he's contradicting
like, I'm like,
himself.
dude, I'm like, either you're just trying to make good TV, or like, what's the real fucking deal? Like, he probably either really did see a future with me, and that's why he was nice. Like, oh, I want to be with Nicole. I love her so much. After I left, because he realized, damn, this girl actually made my time here enjoyable. And now I have this cunty ass little girl who is here and will not fucking leave and is bothering the fuck out of him like a little bug.
This is this interview. I knew it was gonna be like, just let it all go.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I picture this interview, Nicole.
Exactly.
And how this is how excited everyone
Yeah, you don't
was
disappoint.
about this
Thank
interview.
you.
You don't disappoint. Like whatsoever.
No, I'm like, I will literally say it how it is, and like, I'm just very honest and truthful about it. Like, to this point, I don't even know where his head was at even on the show. Like, was Chad really Chad? That's why I was so skeptical about everything.
So when was the last time you had contact with Chad?
The reunion.
A couple of weeks ago.
Did you know who Chad was before you met him?
No. I did not know who he was at all. I mean, he told me he was from, like, he did The Bachelorette. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I watched, like, 1 or 2 seasons, but not the season he was on.
But you didn't know.
My
Chad.
dumbass.
That would have been a good one to
you
watch.
would've known.
You would have known, girl.
So,
And then, like I just didn't know anything about him or who he was. So us getting to know each other was, like, something new and fresh. And I was just like, oh, my God, I'm so in love.
this is great.
Yeah. I mean, I was feeling it through the TV, girl. I was like, there are sparks coming through the TV.
Yeah, and Nicole, you're such a firecracker, kind of a hothead, but you tell it like it is. I'm surprised that you got along so well with all the girls in the house. Was there anyone else aside from Maddie that you had any problems with?
I beefed with Shay for like 1.4 seconds, and I was actually really mean to her. But like, that was like something that went unaired, and I'm like, good, keep that shit in the fucking closet, because I acted like a complete psychopath. But like, I don't know what it is. I feel like blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls just don't fuck with me. And they get on my nerves. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't know if any of you guys are blonde hair or blue eyes.
No, you're good.
No one.
We'll mix them both.
No blue eyes. We good.
Yeah, no blue eyes.
I don't, tell me if you can't talk about this now, but I know we did have Chad earlier in the season here, and he, you know, it came up about, you know, because there was a lot of back and forth with, you know, the stuff you were doing online and the stuff, you know, I guess Maddie was doing online when she was first came on, but it alluded that, you know, you guys, you know, weren't together. Did you try something outside of the taping, you know, when after taping was over prior to the reunion and it just didn't work out, or, you know, what happened?
It depends when this is supposed to air, if I'm even allowed to talk about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can't talk about it, then that's fine.
Let's wait.
We'll wait on that one.
Okay.
Just in case.
I mean, I was trying to, like, I don't know why I like thought in the back of my head, I'm like, this would have been a better podcast if it were like after the show.
We're totally live, so
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, he's been very open about the relationships that he's moved on to. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I don't know anything. I don't follow him. I don't talk about him. Like, I don't need his little dick energy near me, around me, like anywhere close to me. Like, I'm just like off living my best life. And
yes, girl, live your best life.
You know, Nicole, we see on these little tea pages that are on Instagram, we see that some of your, I guess, Instagram stories get posted on there of Chad being very drunk. Can we speak on that? Like, what is that coming from? Is he posting about you and you're just responding to it with that? Or
so initially it all started with somebody sending me a screenshot. Not one person, it was multiple people. People send me shit all the time, and he was talking on his live saying, I'm gonna make a t-shirt of Nicole, and it's a picture of me with no makeup on. I looked beat to fucking hell. I was sick as shit. I was filming another TV show, and it was just like a screenshot that some asshole just put on the internet of me. Like, ha ha ha, look at Nicole, no makeup on, she looks like shit. And he was like laughing about it, like, I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, all right, dude, keep fucking with me and see what happens. So I just got pissed off because so many people sent it to me that I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna show what you really are like outside of TV. You're an alcoholic, you dumbass. And you love to do coke, so hi. And I have the receipts to prove it.
Dang.
I'm drinking.
So I don't say things that I can't back up, unlike him. And then he provoked me again and was calling me a prostitute, which is not true. I bartend at a strip club, but I make a lot of money, so whatever. Like, if I was a prostitute, why would he be with me? You know, it makes no sense.
Right.
And so I ended up doing it again, and I said, if he continues fucking with me, I'm going to sue him for defamation of character and slander, because he knows I have the money and he doesn't. So
well, there we go.
Wow. All right.
There it is.
Well.
So that's the tip for tat for that. Like, I'm just like, I have, and if he continues going, I can continue going. Like, that's the thing. Like, I have it.
You got it. You got it. Just one last question before we let you go. I know it's late where you're at. Do you regret, you know, being on the show? Like you said, you've done, you know, this is your 5th show. Do you regret doing this particular show and the experience that you had?
I at one point said I did regret it, but like, I feel like now, looking back, I really don't regret it, because I learned a lot about myself. I learned not to let, like, little things get the best of me, and like allow one person to change and wrap my whole mind about things. Like, I don't know. And I learned not to run away from my fucking problems and to deal with things head on. I usually run away from shit and like just blow the fuck up later, like I'm a ticking time bomb. And I don't know, like, it's
like one thing to live by. Like,
I don't know. I learned a lot about myself because of him, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of Chad. So I mean, if anything, I'm thankful, but like, I didn't need that headache.
Right. You don't deserve that.
People say all the time, no regrets, just lesson learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, but I've already been with a lot of assholes. I don't need another one.
Well, lesson learned, so you really learned the lesson.
You need to really learn that lesson.
Sensei had asked, would you do it again? Like, would you do X on the Beach, you know, season 3?
Probably not, because there's nothing that I want to work out with anybody unless Nate's gonna propose to me.
Okay.
I heard that.
Okay, Nate, do you hear that? Okay.
Nate knows. I told him.
Oh.
But I mean, we're just such good friends. It's just like I always fuck with him, and he's just like, "Shut up, Nicole."
Well, you never know. You never know, girl.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Give it up for Nicole.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think that we might need to, the reunion is 2 episodes. So maybe the second reunion, when all the things aired, maybe we can have you back. And
Listen,
you can really...
I already know after even a little glimpse of like the reunion airing, you're gonna be like, we're bringing Nicole back right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She has a lot of things to clarify.
Well,
Okay.
then pencil us in.
There
girl.
it is. Yeah, I got it. We're going to have to do that. Just be ready. Be ready. Get that call.
She's staying.
Yeah.
No, I'm ready. Are y'all ready?
No, we're ready.
We're not.
We're ready.
We're
sis.
ready. Yes.
She's like, you
I
got
don't
ready.
know if I'm ready. Y'all.
We got a taste. I liked it. But thank you so much, Nicole. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Nicole.
it.
Thank you,
And
girl.
yeah.
Thank
We
you,
drop it.
guys.
Good
Right.
night.
We're gonna see you.
Have a good dinner.
Get that food in your life.
I am.
Oh man. So yeah, that was she.
That's gonna be in the news tomorrow.
I think that's gonna get picked up. Might get picked up.
Yeah.
Might get picked up.
See you guys next week.
Right.
This is all I was thinking in my head. Y'all know that Chad does his podcast out of the building.
Yes.
Just imagine if he was watching in the other studio
Right.
and he was
I
like, "No, I'm
mean,
gonna go in there and just walk out,
Right.
knock down the door, just sit down,
Yeah.
like I'm talking to." That'd be some TV.
I mean, I'm not
That would be
surprised that a
something.
lot of the things she said, though, like meeting Chad and talking to him here, he is very calculated, and you can tell he is a bit of a narcissist.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't meet him. I was kind of bummed.
Oh,
at
that's
the
right. You weren't
time.
here when
I
he
know.
came.
I was kind of bummed because I watched The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, what you guys told me, he didn't really open up. So I was like,
Yeah.
skirt, bye.
he knows what to talk about and what not to talk about. Very calculated. I mean, like he's been on reality TV quite a lot.
Yeah,
or
or he
whatnot,
was
so
training for it, honey.
Yeah, so like he knows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He's always the bad guy.
He knows.
I don't know if he's genuinely a bad guy or if he just likes to play that role
He
because
should
it gets
just be an actor.
a lot of TV time.
Because we don't know the real Chad.
Right.
We've
Right.
only, you know what I mean? Although he works here, I haven't seen him in the studio
Yeah.
before or whatnot. So it'll be interesting to get him back here after that interview that we just had.
I would need something.
Something. I
would
Maybe we
need
have them
something
on
from
together.
him.
She on Skype and
And
then
he in the studio?
Maybe we can make that
What do
happen.
y'all think?
I don't
Chat?
know if we can make that happen.
You think
I
that's
mean-
gonna
If we
work?
can make that happen, I think we should make that happen. If
Right.
we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see. But let's talk more about this particular episode.
Let's do it.
Because there was so much with the big thing is Tor'i and Angela.
Yeah.
Right.
That was huge because there was so much in between them. What do you think about that whole situation? Like, what are your just first thoughts about the Tor'i and
I
Angela?
said what I said last week, and I came correct because
They pretty
Angela-
much said the same thing that you said too.
Yeah.
Good job.
You know,
Sensei.
I just be knowing these.
Just be
things.
knowing.
Okay, I'm a grown woman. I've
The
been through it
grown
all. You know what I'm
woman.
saying?
Grown.
You know.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, at the end, I'm glad that Tor'i decided to be the bigger person, go apologize to her, and she did as well. So, the one thing I was wrong about, they got some closure. I mean, I don't think they're ever going to be best friends,
Sure.
But
and
they
we'll
got
see next
something.
episode. But
It's funny because you fast forward to now, and they are going at it right now on
Well, see,
Twitter.
and that's the thing that gets me is because we
So
watch
maybe I
this.
was right.
Yeah, we see what happens in real time.
Yeah.
And then we watch the episode. We're like, wait, but they just made up on the
Yeah.
show. Why are they beefing now?
That's the
They
crazy
should
part.
shut down their freaking social medias while we're watching because we're watching this and it's like, oh, okay, maybe they have a
Right.
chance. And then you look now and you're
You
like,
look-
oh, that shit ain't
and
going
then it
down
comes
ever.
up.
But how even more weird when Nelson got in the situation
Yo.
and they were fighting and he comes in, she's like, oh, hey, babe. He's
Yeah.
like, what?
Right.
I was like, oh, this is too much.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Nerys for doing that and bringing him back on. And that everyone
Nerys
was
is the real
so
MVP.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
This whole episode.
Tell me.
She's the real MVP.
Tell me, everyone was just too nice to each other, and I was so confused. Maya and D'Angelo were friends and hugging each up and
Yo.
hugging it up.
Yo.
We know now. I mean, Maya was on here. You know,
Right.
they're never gonna be friends, but
Nope.
they were. Everyone
Cordial.
seems to be cordial at the
Right.
moment, and I think we're gonna see that in the reunion, if I'm correct or whatnot.
Oh, really?
Something's gonna go down,
Yeah.
and they're gonna air everything out, but everyone seems to be like on the same page, and there's just one like catalyst that's driving all the craziness. You'll see on the reunion. Is what I heard.
Maybe it's Malcolm in the middle.
Oh,
Oh,
of all
okay.
the chicks.
All right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that was one of my favorite TV shows.
I know, I just had to, like,
Rock and
do
Metal
that,
was tight.
'cause I
It was
like-
tight. I do
Shout out
want
to
to
Frankie
talk.
Muniz.
Yeah. I do want to talk some more about the Tor'i and Angela
Let's do
situation. But before we get into that, Sensei, you got something to say.
Let's
I
go.
do. All right, guys. Before we move on to our next topic, we just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. But for us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you are on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating because you know we the flyest after show here. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us and doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows.
Yeah, keep enjoying. What is the live chat talking? Are they talking about Nicole? What are they talking about?
They're talking about what kiss, they're talking about people kissing.
Maurice was a
Oh,
real
Darian
one.
and Nereis.
Yeah.
That's old.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's old.
You
That's
know.
old. I wanted to get back into Tor'i and Angela because there was the scene where they go down Shack of Secrets.
Yeah.
And so they're called down there, and it's her turn because we saw in season 1 there was a situation where she was down there with Derek,
my
and she got to go through his phone.
Carmen's a bitch, yo.
Oh, yes it is. And Tor'i got to go through her phone, and
Yeah.
he knew about the banana situation. She never denied it. But he felt there were other people, and so she starts going through her phone, starts seeing these other guys, even sees her ex Derek in there, and her claim to fame is that, I was single at that time. I was talking to them. We were already broken up. Do you believe her? Do you side with Tor'i in that regard, or do you think that she was, because he did bring up the
NBA,
Snapchats,
MLB.
exactly, and she was super hushed about that.
Oh, she admitted that.
She admitted that. So nonetheless, if she was
indirectly,
if she
yeah.
was single and if she wasn't single, the MLB NBA situation happened while they were together.
True.
Yeah.
And that was admitted on TV. She couldn't say no to that.
No, she
couldn't
said
say
yes
no
with
to
her
that.
eyes. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like she's admitting a lot of the stuff, so anything that she's denying, I believe her because she doesn't have a problem admitting the other stuff. So,
okay, well, I think she's lying.
Oh,
Phones
okay.
tell all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she admitted to Snapchatting when whatever NFL, what are they?
yeah. Well, she's
MLB.
admitting
Ball
that
player.
though.
I
MLB.
have no idea
Professional
what those are.
athletes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just say
got
that.
you. Like Snapchatting them and everything,
Yeah.
and she admitted to that. So it's like, girl, it's all up in your phone, girl.
So you're saying basically if she admitted to that, then of course she had to have been talking to other people while they were
like
together.
if you ain't committed in a relationship, you ain't committed in a relationship. Point blank.
And nonetheless, she wasn't committed. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, she cheated with bananas. I mean, look at the bananas being thrown this episode.
Shut up
I
about
was
that.
mad.
Yeah,
No.
with that.
Dumb.
What?
I was like,
You're
yo,
so corny.
Grown ass man throwing bananas.
dude, it was like I felt
mean,
it
it
like
was
he
funny
came
as fuck.
he came into a situation. Obviously, Angela was not here for him. She was very upset when he came in,
Right.
And so I do like the fact that I'm definitely not a fan of Tor'i, but I like the fact that he came in, he greeted him, and everybody's like, whoa, I expected him to be a monster,
right.
because we've seen some exes come in like, yeah, and what, and they
Yeah.
get sat down and yeah, I'm here for
Wait,
da 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 da.
Side note, why are you not a fan of Tor'i?
Why am I not a fan of
Yeah.
Tor'i? Because I think that he is phony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side note, real quick, some tea. We had booked Tor'i last season for what was the show he was on? Oh, same Ex on the Beach
Same
season 1.
Ex season
And he did
one.
the same bullshit Darian did and not respond to shit. So
Okay. Well, side note to
Lame.
that, I wanted to back up
Salty.
my point.
Perez.
I wanted to back point on, when I said that Angela is guilty, and
Right.
just like Jose said, honey, get your coins. Okay,
Right.
ain't nobody mad at you. You was doing what you had to do to
Yeah.
get that bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
So-
I mean, the point I was making earlier was I just felt like, dude, it's like, he came in, he did that. I respected that. He was trying to get over, and kind of put his best foot forward. But then you backpedal when you do some crazy stuff like throwing bananas.
Right.
Like, how are you going to, okay, she cheated on you with bananas. Come on, dude. But you're going to throw live bananas?
Live.
And then,
Live? You said live bananas?
I mean, as opposed to anyway.
Dead bananas?
No.
We
You
get
know
you.
what I'm saying?
That
We just-
banana
we
was
just messed
there
with
on
you.
the floor for a long time. It was getting brown.
Okay.
Don't cover me. You
right.
know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. But but then we see him doing that, And he's basically, it's like a child move, and it's like a tantrum. You know what I'm saying?
It was funny.
It's like...
I mean,
it was stupid.
I think it was hilarious.
And then
Bananas' name is hilarious. And it's like, you're going to throw bananas. I'm with it. Fuck it. Fuck these bananas out. Tor'i.
Can we stop with the bananas?
No, but one more thing. I did think it was funny when Didi and then we're going at it, and Didi kept burping, and he's like, that's rude. And then he was like, you throwing bananas is rude. And he's like, are you going to apologize? No. Are you going to pick up your banana? Like, that part was kind of funny.
I mean, that banana needed to be picked up.
Yeah, it
was
needed to be
pretty
picked up.
gross.
And Malcolm was upset because he was like, yo, we eat these bananas.
Right.
Like, you're throwing our live bananas that we eat, you know.
Live bananas.
Oh, man.
But anyway,
we just had a whole segment on bananas.
We did.
Thank you, next.
But just to wrap it up, I do like the fact, agreeing with you, that they did make amends.
Yes.
And he apologized. And I think that was good for the sake of them and the house.
In the house,
Yes.
right. I
Wait,
mean,
so people were saying, though, if Angela reacted the way she reacted, she still felt some type of way with Tor'i.
Well, they were saying in the house, they still had feelings.
Right.
I mean, when
I feel like, never mind.
What? No, you better.
Go ahead.
I mean, I
Never
just feel
mind.
like it was like a cry of relief because she was like, oh, I'm finally going to get paid.
Oh, my money.
Yeah. I would have cried too, waiting that long.
Well, and
I mean,
It was more deeper
right.
than that.
I feel like, you know, let me just give you my wisdom.
Go ahead.
You
I'm
know?
going to go right after you because
I feel like with Angela feeling those ways, it was the dream that they could have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were happy in that moment. It's not reality, though. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you have those moments, you go back, you're like, oh, the 5 good times we had together, you know?
turn
And,
into
like,
the
you want
Hallmark Channel,
to, you
yo.
know, you cry that out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's not going to ever
The
work
5
out.
good times.
What were you going to say, Lem?
So there's a few layers with that.
Okay.
I think that one, when he was apologizing, you know, he made mention, he's like, yo, you moved across the country for me because, you know, she's from Jersey, I think.
Yeah.
And she came from Jersey and moved here to California to live with him, to be with him in that regard. And then, you know, all this stuff happens. She goes to film and then, you know, of course he cheats. And then he finds out and then, you know, everything happens, explodes. But I felt like they did have some real, like, I don't think it was one of those, oh, I'm just hooking up, you know, type thing.
Definitely.
I think there was real feelings involved. He even brought up, you know, and I don't know how truthful that is, but he's talked about like, oh, you know, I even thought about maybe marriage and da-da-da-da. And I don't know about that because I don't think that they were together that long. And I think that that's kind of short to be thinking that way.
Right.
But I do think there were real feelings. But I do think that the emotion that she expressed was more of a relief. It's like you finally owned up. I don't need to keep saying this because she did a whole freaking YouTube video about how she stole from him that has like thousands of views.
She owned up too, so she probably was able to like saw that part out too. Like, okay, you're wrong and I was wrong and we're both wrong. We just not good together.
Right.
And to be honest, you know, for her to like, you know, maybe slide into, you know, NFL players' DMs and stuff like that, he must have had to done something to rub her the wrong way for her to look out because she was really feeling Tor'i. So
she was.
You know, there's always something that makes something else happen that turns into something else.
And it could have been the other way around. They slide into her DMs and then she's entertaining them.
Yeah, you know.
So either way, but yes. So then we get to the elimination that happens at the end. They kind of devise this plan, like, hey, what if we just crush everybody, and then whoever doesn't get a crush,
but Corey,
then, you know, and Corey's like, no, I'm cutting, and he's just like, and they just make mention that he's always trying to do the opposite of what everybody else want to do.
Right.
And
but
so,
I mean, I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at his cut.
Right. No, of course he cuts Perez. Perez was just taking naps
I forgot all about him.
and had cocoa butter.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
He was
like,
lathering and lotioning, and he got cut.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Corey's like, well, I'm going to cut somebody, you know, think it's going to be someone like Major, you know what I'm saying? But he going to cut Perez, like all big and bad. Like, we all knew he had to go, okay?
And then and he wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
So it was his time to go. Yeah. So let's get into predictions.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I'll slide it in there later.
All right, so next episode is the season finale. We did get the preview that we see a lot of the exes coming back, which I think is going to turn the house upside down.
Yes.
I think that's going to be great. I can't wait for that. Of course, right after that is a reunion, but what do you guys think going forward?
I think there's going to be a shakeup between Nicole and Chad, but it's going to look like a happily ever after from what we see on the TV show, but we obviously know what's happening in real life, right? So I think we're going to see, like, she's going to be a little pissed. about whatever, or about a situation, and then they're gonna make up and it's gonna be all good. But in reality, we know what's going on. And then who else is coming back? It's Farrah's gonna come back. I think she's just gonna party and just do Farrah and be that. Maya's coming back, and I'm kind of curious to see. Janelle's coming back, and I'm kind of curious to see what's gonna happen there. I can't really pinpoint. Is there gonna be drama? Is it gonna be okay? Everyone's getting along now.
Yeah, which
you know
is
what I mean?
lame.
Well, she had the beef with Nerys when she left.
So, like, if Maya's getting along with Didi,
then
you know what I mean. Aja's getting along with Nerys. Maybe everything's gonna be Gucci and it's
How
gonna be all
is
good.
Janelle and Angela gonna go?
Yeah,
How's
that's
gonna-
the thing.
I know, but we know now that they're cool.
Yeah, so I
Right.
feel like
You know what I mean?
everything's gonna get squashed and there's not gonna be too much drama.
So you don't think it'll be drama?
No.
And it'll
I'm
just-
sad because I feel like we know the outcome already in our heads, like what's gonna in real life, what's gonna happen.
Right.
So watching, it's gonna be like,
Do you think that there's going to be anything with Nelson? Because, Nelson got introduced back in the house. Of course, Angela was ecstatic. Tor'i was like, go ahead, you got her, type thing. So it doesn't look like he's going to be trying to get after Angela, but do you think there's going to be anything with him being in the house other than just bliss between them two?
Oof. I feel like something's gonna boil up, especially when those lie detector tests come back, and maybe we'll really
That's
find
right,
out
the lie
if
detector
Angela
test.
is still not over her ex.
Morgan and Jay.
Oh.
Remember that preview was
Someone's
Morgan
crying
and Jay.
in the bathroom.
Somebody is crying.
Yeah.
It's a girl crying.
And Morgan asked, are you in love with Jay, or do you really like Jay? And remember, he's been iffy about the whole situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting. Well, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. And spoiler alert, she was talked about a lot in this episode, but Maddie will be joining us here in the studio next week.
Oh, so she gonna have her say.
So she's going to get to give her side.
And we
and
can
I'm
talk to her
interested-
about her being cunty.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us. That has been our show. We want to give another shout out to Nicole because she's Nicole. Thank you for joining us via Skype. And who knows, we might have another guest along with Maddie. You just got to stay tuned and find out.
Yeah,
we getting down to the
never know.
wire. You know what I'm saying? So, and we still haven't had everybody on the show. So, I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, and you can find me everywhere at Lim Gonzalez. Also, check out everything I got going on my website, stayonthemic.com. And if you are a fan of Love and Hip Hop and all that ratchetness, make sure you check out my podcast for VH1's Love and Hip Hop, The T, on all your platforms that you listen to podcasts. Where you at,
Yes,
Sensei?
y'all already know where to follow me at Sensei. Don't play.
You guys can check me out everywhere at Melody_Rose.
Yeah, it's your boy Nino. You can check me out at Nino Lanier on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah. Until next week, we will see you.
Peace.
Deuces.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.